Hello everyone and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations, where slowly, piece by piece, we are starting to piece this together. Alright, we're gonna have Dahlia tell us about the night of the crime.
I was in my room in the main hall that night. As soon as I heard that I'd been spotted at the inner temple, I knew. I knew it was my sister.
Wait.
But Bikini said she saw...
Unless she's lying. She wouldn't lie, would she? Oh, I hope I'm wrong. There's just so much evidence that points to her. There's still some other explanations, but that one is pretty big. It would be dumb of me to ignore it, but I don't think that's my leading contender just yet.
Dahlia, the other half of me who passed away last month.
Just as I suspected. The iris that Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple on the night of the murder. It was Dahlia Hawthorne. Why didn't you tell me about this before?
Because my sister always does the right thing.
Excuse me?
And because I mustn't get in the way of what she's trying to do. I already betrayed her once before. I can't do it again.
You betrayed her? What do you mean?
That's why I have to accept I may be found guilty. It's the only way.
What is she talking about? I'm going back and forth on this, Bikini thing. I think I may be off the mark here. Especially knowing now that Iris feels like she owes Dahlia. Alright. I can kind of get on board with what's going on here.
You know about it, don't you, Mr. Wright? About the fake kidnapping that took place on Eagle Mountain 11 years ago? That was the start of it all. It's what started her down that twisted path. She started to commit crime after crime, and in the end, she lost her life. It's all because I betrayed her.
How did you betray her, Iris?
It is no coincidence that Eagle Mountain is where the exchange was to take place. After all, I helped plan the whole thing.
What?
But I got scared, so I ran away.
What are you talking about? Why would you help her? Stealing $2 million from your own father? That's awful.
But I promised I'd help. And she didn't do it for the money.
Huh?
It was revenge on our father.
Revenge? For taking them away from the mother? What do you mean by revenge?
He was a hideous man. He threw our mother away, then sent her to hell.
Mother? She must be talking about Morgan Fay.
Our mother was the eldest daughter of the main branch of the Fay family. The main family had a lot of influence in many business and political circles at the time. As the eldest daughter, our mother was set to inherit all of that as the next master. That's the reason our father married our mother in the first place, for power. But his plan backfired. Because our mother's sister took it all from her, she took over as the master of Crane.
It'd be Misty Fay, Maya's mother. Okay.
But before long, the credibility of Crane tradition hit rock bottom. The new master, Mystic Misty Fay, made a terrible mistake. It was during the investigation of the DL6 incident. After that happened, our father took me and my twin sister away, leaving our mother and our home behind. He hated the place. He said it was a hick dive, and he had no reason to stay there.
And that's when you came here to Hazakura Temple.
Yes, the woman my father took as his next wife already had a daughter, Valerie. I had no place in his new family, you see.
Oh.
And I haven't seen my mother once since then. Having the master's seat stolen from her and being rejected by her own family. I've heard she's been very battered, spiritually and emotionally.
I think I'm finally beginning to see how the pieces fit together.
I've asked her everything I can in my capacity as a prosecutor. This incident, everything related to it, goes back to the history of the Fae clan.
That's what it looks like. But I'm not done. Iris, there's just one more thing I want you to tell me.
What is it?
During the incident in which your sister Dahlia Hawthorne poisoned a lawyer, she began a relationship with a certain college student in order to hide the evidence. That college student? Have you heard anything about him?
Well, I did hear one thing. She said she hated his guts.
Oh, why would you ask that? I see. Thank you for your help.
You're welcome. Hurry up, Phoenix Wright. There is still much to investigate. Leave these locks to me. I'll open them for you, I promise.
Thank you. I suppose I'd better continue my investigation. There's still one giant secret left to unlock. Pearl's Psych Lock. Oh, can I go there now? I probably needed something from here. But I didn't get any evidence, though. Right? No new... She was executed. Yeah. I don't think we got any new information. So I'm kind of confused why I couldn't do those in a different order. Alright, anyway. Moving on. To the... suspension bridge? I can't remember my way around here. Are they back? Look at that. They really did make a fire right in front of the shack. Oh no. Oh, Pearls. You're going to have to keep Larry in line or this is not going to last very long.
Oh, Mr. Nick.
Huh, you're too late, Nick. If you came here for one of our potatoes, you've already polished them all off. That reminds me, I have not eaten lunch. Alright, I'll deal with that later. I think I've pretty much got all the evidence I need. I just need to find out what Pearls is hiding. Alright, okay. Magatama. Alright. Recently, it's come to my attention that it's Magatama? At least that's how they pronounce it in Shin Megami Tensei 3. And as we all know, an English dub is definitely always the correct way to say words. And I'll probably forget that pronunciation soon anyway. Alright, so we got 5 of these things. Jeez. Okay. So we just did this pretty recently. I'm not going to go through all this. Yes, happy, but didn't go in the end. Didn't go. Somewhere else I had to go instead. Yep. Because she was too worried about something or someone else. Pearls. The night of the murder, you went to this place, didn't you? She went to the inner temple. I mean, she was found over there. There really wasn't... I can't believe I spent so much time debating that earlier. Looks like she's still not willing to open up to me. This is where you went because you were so worried, right? The next question is, who or what were you so worried about?
You mean you know? If I'm right, will you tell me the whole truth? Okay.
Because you were worried about Maya. And that's good. It was Maya, wasn't it? You knew the training Maya was undertaking was dangerous. After all, it was the special course. Sign up for a special course. My, quite brave. Young people can be so reckless with their health. Don't blame me if you become one with those you channel. So who channeled Dahlia is driving me up a wall? If I can just figure that out, I think I've got all this. Scared you with what she said, didn't she? And because it was you who introduced Hazakura Temple to Maya in the first place, you felt responsible, didn't you? So... Alright, here's what I'm having a hard time with too. This all assume. Did someone send Pearls the magazine in the first place? Because I'm like, what were the odds that while Misty was there that like Maya would just happen to walk in? Because taking out Misty on its own doesn't really help their situation. Like Maya would still be in charge. In fact, I think that would cement the fact that she was in charge. So was that who sent her the magazine? Oh, there we go. There's the answer we need. Could happen to missing Maya made me more and more worried. I couldn't sit still at all. That's why I decided to go and find out how she was doing at the inner temple. It's not clear as what happened after that. About what time was it when you headed over to the inner temple? Probably around 9:30 when I left the main hall. I heard the real training was supposed to start at 10. I wanted to get there before it started, but there was so much snow I didn't get there until after 10 o'clock. Until after 10? How did you know what time it was? Because I heard the bell ringing for lights out. She heard the lights out bell. The Hazakura Temple bell's pretty small though, isn't it? You must have really good hearing. I was really trying to pick up the sound of that bell, that's all. I didn't want to miss it. That would be terrible. She's trying to hear the bell. Tell me, Pearls, why were you so worried about hearing that bell? Huh? Oh, I think I know why. The reason you're so worried about the bell is because of this. Okay. That is gonna be that. You're given some... She was given the instructions to follow? Oh, no. Oh, that's horrible. Also, the last paragraph makes it not make sense to me. I presume you recognize these pieces of paper. Where did you... In the incinerator at the inner temple. Pearls. You were following the instructions in this letter that night, weren't you? That's why you couldn't afford to miss the sound of the lights out bell. I'm speechless, Mr. Nick. You're amazing. These instructions that were found in the incinerator, I believe they were written for you. Wait, were they? Hold on, that doesn't make any sense. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. Leave everything up to her. Her name is... Alright, let's assume that's Dahlia. Her name is Dahlia. She is our ally. The whole... something. I don't know. Here's a picture of her. Use it when you channel her. I know you can do it. Once this is done, burn the letter. Also make sure not to tell anyone about this letter. Gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades and bring our vengeance. I can't see Pearls doing this. Something is wrong. Something is seriously wrong here. For me, no. As you can see, a large portion has been burnt. The last section is still fairly legible. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. Who was it, Pearls? Whose spirit were you supposed to be channeling? Taking into account the author of the note and their purpose for writing it, whose spirit would Pearls have been trying to channel? Don't overthink it, Phoenix. It's pretty obvious who Pearls was supposed to channel. The person you were trying to channel that night, Pearls, was... Why? Yep. It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? That was the name that was in the letter. Yep. It's just as I suspected. It wasn't Iris whose sister Bikini met at the inner temple that night. It is Dahlia Hawthorne. Do you know anything about her, Pearls? Do you know what kind of woman Dahlia Hawthorne was? No. I've never heard of anyone by that name before reading those instructions. Thought so. Pearls doesn't have a clue. She doesn't know that Dahlia is her sister. Oh, this is so messed up. About the instructions in the letter I found, Pearls. Who wrote them? Whoever it was asked you to channel the spirit of someone you'd never heard of. You must have quite a lot of respect for them. After all, you followed their instructions without question. So here's my next question. Who wrote the set of instructions for you to follow? Come on. Let's be real. Let's be real. Pearls. I have to wonder about something. You didn't have any idea what these instructions meant, did you?
But
you followed them to the letter regardless. Why? Because it was your own mother who asked you, that's why.
How did you...
I figured it out. The person who wrote you this letter was your own mother, Morgan Fay. There we go. Alright, Pearls, it's time you started telling me the truth.
Mr. Nick,
Why is she holding back from me? I don't like this.
Don't underestimate me just because I'm a child.
Huh?
If you're trying to say I followed these instructions, I'd like to see some proof.
What?
Because I don't think you have any.
She'd say anything rather than carrying out those instructions. I guess I have to produce some more evidence then. One more thing should do it. Alright, Pearls. We both know someone carried out these instructions on the night of the murder. But you're right. There's no evidence that proves it was you.
I knew it.
However, I do know that whoever did it was a child.
How do you know that?
It couldn't have been an adult. No adult would have made a simple mistake like that.
A simple mistake? What do you mean by that?
I'm sure you thought you were carefully following the instructions you'd been given, but you misunderstood some of the words, and this is the evidence that proves it. What? Are we missing more evidence? You misunderstood some of the words, and this is the... So, it has to be something in here. What did she misunderstand? Be careful. Once night falls, it should be there. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. Leave everything up to her. Her name is... she is our... and the whole... Here is a picture of her. Use it when you channel her. I know you can do it. Once this... it burned, also make sure not to tell anyone about this letter. Gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades and bring our vengeance to fruition. So what did she misunderstand in that? This is the evidence that proves it. Alright, I don't think it's going to be the burnt letter again. Worn by Elisa Nim, found in the garden of the inner temple. Up near Dusky Bridge. Has blood on it. Came from the victim's staff. Horrible sketch of what he saw on the night of the crime. I think that proves a misunderstanding. Crime photo. The courtyard where Elisa Nim was murdered. I don't see anything... So she I wonder, like... You must channel her spirit. Leave everything up to her. Like... I'm wondering if there's a part in here that, like... Her name is... She is our whole... Here's a picture of her. Use it when you channel her. I know you can do it. Here's a picture of her. Use it when you channel her. Like, there's a part I'm wondering if it's like... She took literally? Once this is burned the... Okay, also make sure not to tell anyone about this letter. Bravely roast the master in the fires of Hades and bring our vengeance to fruition. Like, I'm wondering if there's something in there that, like, a child would take literally, but... I don't know. Loss of blood from a stab in the back. Body fell 10 feet after death. Sword hidden inside. No one knows about this except me and Gumshoe. There certainly wasn't anything about stabbing in there. I feel like that would have caused Pearls to not do it. I think I can rule out the swords. Has the victim's blood and the suspect's fingerprints on it, but it's not the murder weapon. The regional weather report for the night of the crime. No, I don't think that is relevant. Received before lights out bell. The night of the crime protects from evil spirits. Photo of Elise. Anything there? The magic bottle. Does that matter? Is that gonna factor into things? Magic bottle. There's nothing really about a bottle in there that I can remember. Oh, wait a second. Oh, no. Poor Pearls. Gravely wrote. Oh. Alright, at least that makes sense now. Like, why it was covered in gravy. How did she convince Pearls that Misty was an enemy? It was you who splattered gravy on this hanging scroll, wasn't it?
Why would I do something like that?
Do you remember what was written in that letter? Gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades and bring our vengeance to fruition. But you didn't know how to read the words gravely and roast, among others, right?
How did you know that?
Remember the conversation you had with Miss Donim the night of the murder? Perhaps we can read some books together.
Really?
I'd love to. I'm not very good at reading. Well then, would you like to practice reading with me?
Mr. Elise, so for example, how do you read this?
It says gravely. That's kind of a tough word. I'm actually glad I didn't know that, because that might have thrown me off further. Sure, Miss Donim taught you how to read gravely and roast, but what she didn't teach you is what they meant.
It gravely sounded like gravy to me, and the only roast I could think of was food.
And that's why you did it. That's why you covered the picture of the master in gravy from that night's pot roast. Oh, that's awesome.
To be honest, I did think it was a bit strange. I guess I really did get the wrong idea.
Just a tiny bit.
I really am useless. I couldn't even burn the letter properly as my mother had asked of me. Such a simple thing and I couldn't even do it right.
Alright. You know what? We got a couple minutes. We'll talk about the night of the crime.
After dinner that night, I did go to the inner temple with a pot full of leftover gravy.
Oh, please tell me there's a scene of this. The gravy?
I saw the picture of the hanging scroll near the sacred cavern. I was sure it was the massive crane like it said in the letter.
I see, and then?
Well, it was already way past 10 when I got there because of all the snow, so I went to the inner temple guest area.
The guest area?
Yes, I thought I could wait there until the training was over.
Why didn't you just go to the training hall?
Because Mystic Maya's main training had already started and I couldn't interrupt it. So I just stayed where I was and prayed for her to get through it. But then
Pearls, did you fall asleep?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just couldn't help it.
Hey, don't worry about it, Pearl. Who cares if you fell asleep? I fell asleep waiting for Iris too. It happens. Anyway, then you found yourself trapped at the inner temple.
Yes, when I woke up, it was morning. I tried not to cry, but Dusky Bridge wasn't there anymore and there was no one in the training hall. I thought everyone had left me because I overslept. I threw the letter into the incinerator, then I heated up the leftover gravy and
and let off some steam by chucking the gravy on the scroll while you cried. Oh, that shouldn't be as funny as it is, but it's a little bit funny. It must have been pretty scary for you, Pearl. I know what it's like, Nick. Nick used to leave me behind when I fell asleep at school, too. Don't equate something so trivial with her experience, Larry. Alright, tell me about your lost powers, because yeah, that's kind of important.
It was written right in my mother's letter. It said, as soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. I was on my way over to the inner temple when I heard the bell ring.
Oh. I'm starting to wonder now if Dahlia is not dead. If she's not dead, I have a very good grasp on what's going on. If she is actually dead, I'm a little bit more confused. So you channeled Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit.
No. I tried, but I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it?
I never failed at channeling someone. This is the first time it's happened. I tried and tried and tried. Yesterday, this morning, the whole time. But I just couldn't do it.
And don't let it get you down, Pearl. It'll all work out. If you want, I'll come flying through the sky for you. Whoosh, just like that. So she never managed to channel the spirit. Is that why you think your spiritual powers are gone?
Yes, I don't know what to do.
Is there any other explanation for why you couldn't channel a spirit? Because the person isn't dead. Ooh.
I suppose there's one other possibility. It's not very likely, though.
Could you please tell me what it is anyway?
It could happen if someone else has already
Oh. Okay. I hadn't thought of that. I mean, I did think of that, but I was like, if she's not dead, then that makes it easy.
Someone is already channeling the same spirit.
Someone else? What do you mean?
There's only one of each spirit, right?
Yup, it's like dating a girl, Nick. You can't see a hot chick if she's already taken. I feel like that wouldn't stop you. And that would mean on the night of the murder, someone else channeled her spirit before Pearls could. Someone else channeled the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne. So you have to figure out who would stand to gain from that.
I'm a failure. I couldn't even grant my mother's final wish.
Her final wish?
Yes, this letter. This is my last wish, she said. So make sure you follow the instructions carefully.
This letter. I definitely need to find out more about it. Yeah, alright. It took me a long time to solve the psych lock, so we'll go a little bit longer.
My mother has gone to a place called a penitentiary.
Yeah, I know, Pearls.
I visit her every month, and last month she told me...
Time has come. We've been waiting for, Pearl.
There's something I need you to do for me. I had a letter for you at our home before they brought me here. I want you to read it and do exactly what it says. It's for the good of the Fae clan, my angel. You'll be doing a great thing. Now, listen carefully and I'll tell you where the letter's hidden. My mother is always so nice to me. I love her very much.
Oh, Pearls. Yeah, moms will do anything for their kids, right?
She said it was for the good of the Fae clan, so I knew I had to help her. I mean, Mystic Maya's part of the Fae clan, so I had to be good for her too.
Oh.
That's right, isn't it, Mr. Nick?
I guess so, yeah.
There's a picture with her letter too.
A picture?
Of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Usually a picture is enough to channel someone's spirit, but this time...
pretty weird, huh? Like Larry knows anything about this stuff. Did Elise? Oh! No, that doesn't make sense. I was like, I wonder if Elise did it. Or Misty.
There's something else that was strange about my mother's letter. The seal on it was broken, as if someone had already opened it once before.
That sure is pretty strange. Oh, that's interesting. Someone had opened it already, so someone knew about this plan. Thanks, Pearls. You really helped me out.
You're very welcome. My mother is watching over us, so I'm sure Mystic Maya will be alright.
I don't think that's how it works. Look at that innocent smile on her face. This is heartbreaking. What am I supposed to say to her? Finally figured it out, have you, Trite? You finally realized how terrible of a crime being painfully obvious is. Godot? The entrance to the secret cavern looks like a freaking puzzle workshop. I guess he's talking about Iris and the lock-breaking effort. But it's all a waste of time. Well, why do you say that? Because my Faye isn't coming back. What? You don't know what you're talking about. How can you say something like that? It was your job to protect her, Wright. Just like it was your job to protect Mia Faye. Two sisters caught up in the worst circumstances. I realize that, but... And you were the only one who was by their sides. You were the only one who could have saved them. What? There's nothing Phoenix could have done about Mia. But I didn't know anything about what was going on. Ha! What did I just say, Wright? Being oblivious is a heinous crime in itself. Tomorrow, we'll settle everything in court tomorrow, once and for all.
Mr. Nick, is what that man just said true?
It'll be alright, Pearls. I'm sure Maya's alive. You'll see for yourself tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. I know I can trust you, Mr. Nick.
Oh, is that... Oh.
My dear Pearl, you've done so well, my child, my Pearl. It's better that you don't know what you've done. Oh, I knew this day would come for you. The blood of the main family is no more. Now, finally, after all this time, the master seat is yours. My last great wish. It seems I was just in time.
Uh-oh. Alright, that seems like a great place to end it, so I guess we're about to start the trial in the next episode. I am excited. I have to assume this isn't going to be the last day, because like I said, I think this is going to go the distance. It's the last trial. It's gotta, right? I feel like there's still some things we don't know. So, we'll just find out. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.